There's a voice in your head every week when you trade, and that voice is telling you to either not take the trade or, worse off, to take a trade and then you regret it later. And this voice is controlling you every single week, and it's not really you, okay? This is a voice coming from somewhere else. And it happens to all of the traders, about 99% of traders. And if you're not aware of it, you will get sucked into taking these trades or not taking trades and listening to that voice. So in this video, I'm going to teach you how to tame that voice in your head so that you can control your emotions and level up in your trading. So make sure you watch this to the end. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly what that voice is and why it's so powerful and how you can control it so that you can finally stop sabotaging your trades. You've had this happen to you before, okay? So you're watching the charts, you're waiting to get into your setup, okay? And then suddenly, for some reason, this voice pops up out of nowhere and says, get in now, take that trade now. And you don't know why, you don't know where it came from, and all of a sudden you broke your entry rule. You didn't even follow all of your check boxes, and now you're suddenly in a trade that is not the best trade. Or worse off, the voice comes in and tells you to double up on your lot size, to take extra risk, that this is the one, okay, to go all in on this one trade and then you'll make back all your losses this week, okay, or you're going to pass your account or your challenge with this one trade, so just go in deep. That's the voice in your head that wasn't part of your trading plan. It came out of nowhere. And then there's another voice that you will recognize as well, and that is when you're actually in a trade, okay, and your profits are running, okay, you've got some money, you've made some profits, and your trade's still going, but now the voice in your head kicks in and it tells you to take profits now, close the trade now. You see what I mean? And then so you close a perfectly good trade, okay, only to watch this trade continue all the way to your TP, and then you're kicking yourself. And you do this every week, okay? And so you have to understand that this voice in your head is real, okay? I've had it, I've had to deal with it, and you have it. Okay, all traders have it and we all have to deal with it, okay? So it's these demons that we need to overcome. And so you have to understand it at a root cause level, okay? And once you understand it at the root cause, you're going to be able to control it. You see, and this is the worst part about it, because every single time this happens, you tell yourself that you're done with emotional trading. No more emotional trading. Next week, I'm going to be disciplined. I'm going to follow my rules, I'm going to be strict. And then when next week rolls around, the same happens again. You repeat the same negative emotions, the same negative patterns. And then what happens? Your account suffers. Basically, you sit down in front of the computer, you look at the charts, and as soon as the market starts to move, you panic. And then you start jumping in and taking trades and random trades, and you're bored, or you're doing this, or you're adding more in. You're doing all the wrong things, all the rookie mistakes that you know you shouldn't be doing. It's not that you don't know how to trade. You know exactly what your setup looks like. You know how to trade, but you don't. You don't know how to control yourself. This is the problem. And then there you are, you watch yourself doing the exact thing you said to yourself you wouldn't do, but then you're doing it. And this happens all the time. And then you just act like it didn't happen. Like you try to, because you took a loss or your ego is hurt, so you try to brush it under the carpet like nothing happened. That's not the way forward, okay? You have to tackle this at the root cause. You want to ignore it because it makes you think that you're weak. It makes you think that you're undisciplined, okay? You do all the cold showers, you go jogging, you eat clean, you go to the gym, you lift your weights, you go to bed on time, you do everything that you think a disciplined person does, and then when you're in the market environment, in front of the charts, you crumble. You crumble. And it's so embarrassing that your ego is so hurt that it just blocks it out. You just act like it didn't happen. And that's not the way to go forward. You can't fix what you're running away from. You have to tackle it and understand it at the root cause. You think you're broken. You think you're not built for this, but that's not what's going on. It's something else. So let me tell you exactly what that voice is. That voice is not really you. It's not the real you, okay? That voice is the voice of your survival instinct, of your amygdala, your nervous system, your reactive system, okay, within your subconscious programming. It's a voice that keeps coming up to protect itself. It's the part of the nervous system that panics when it feels unsafe, when the body feels bored, when your mind has nothing to do. Your nervous system is reacting, and it's reacting by putting these voices in your head and telling you maybe you should take this or do that or not do that. That's what that voice is. It's the way your nervous system is controlling you. So let me give you some examples so that you understand what I'm actually talking about. So for example, when you're bored, okay, and there's no volume in the market, the voice creeps up and it says, oh, how about just a little trade? We can do one little trade won't hurt anybody, okay? So then you start looking for bad trades and you start going into lower time frames and you're taking B setups, C setups, and D setups, and you're just taking random trades because you're bored. That's what boredom does. Or here's another example. When you are down or in a drawdown or you just took a loss, the voice comes and says, double up, okay? Double down on this next trade and let's make the money back. That's the voice of revenge, okay? Let's go all in on this next trade and make everything back. You see what I mean? So that's another example. Or worse off, when you're actually in the green and you're nicely in profit, you're up for the week, the voice says, oh, that was easy, let's do it again. Okay, that's the voice of greed. Do you understand? This is how it looks like within the market environment, and you know what I'm talking about because it happens all the time. And we're not crazy people. We don't just suddenly have these voices in our heads popped out of nowhere, but it's the way your nervous system is communicating with your brain, with your body, with you, okay? It's putting these ideas in your head, okay? And that is the reaction of your nervous system. So until you understand that, these voices will never go away, sadly. So you have to reprogram your nervous system in order to get rid of those voices so that you can finally trade with confidence, with clarity and calmness and precision and be a sniper, okay? Do you think a sniper is there like with all these voices in his head telling him what to do? Like, yeah, they have it, but they have a different understanding. They are able to block it out. They are able to recognize it and redirect the voice, okay? Redirect the urge to overtrade, the urge to revenge trade, the urge to get greedy. Do you understand? It's not logic, it's not even intuition. It's like this demon in you, okay? Just waiting to wreck you. It's just, your nervous system is just addicted to chaos, okay? And that's part of your programming from the matrix, okay? Just everything has to be chaotic all the time. It just feels unsafe when everything is normal and calm and smooth. So that is basically how the voice talks to you. It communicates in this way. It's basically your body trying to escape emotional discomfort. Okay, that's what we call it, emotional discomfort. So it's being uncomfortable doing nothing. It's being uncomfortable sitting in profit, or it's being uncomfortable when you're at a loss, when you're in a drawdown. All of these states are uncomfortable states, and this is how the body reacts and responds. Okay, it puts voices in your head, puts images and ideas and thoughts into your head. And that's where it all goes south, okay? Let me put it to you straight. You don't have a strategy problem. You have a voice in your head problem. Does that make sense? I know it sounds crazy, but really, that is the problem that you have. And until you can tame and control that voice, no strategy is going to work. That voice in your head is being powered by an overstimulated and unregulated nervous system. That's what it is. And basically, you've built this voice in your head over the decades that you've been around, okay? You treat trading like a casino, okay? It's this voice telling you to, gamble. The voice will tell you to basically chase excitement, okay, because that's what it likes. The voice basically is talking to you and tying your self-worth to your P&L. So basically, if you win a trade, your voice says, oh, look at me, I'm so good, I'm so clever, I'm blah, 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 okay? Or when you take a loss, your voice, your identity is attached to the P&L, and then your voice says, oh, no, that's not good, we gotta fix that. That's the ego, okay? So you need to distinguish this clearly, okay, before you can fix it. And basically, when you sit at the charts, you're not alone. You're there, you, and then there's this like evil twin running the show behind the background in your head, okay? It's shouting at you, it's screaming at you because it's uncomfortable, it's discomfortable. It doesn't like being in a loss, it doesn't like being in a drawdown, or it wants more. It's just this evil twin that is just basically trading for you. The good part of you has done the back testing, you know your strategy, you know your entry, you know how to do it, but you can't stick to it, you can't execute it because this evil twin, okay, this voice in your head. And I get it, you're tired of it, okay? And nobody's ever told you or explained it to you this way, okay? So hopefully today, you understand what the issue is this thing in your head, okay, this evil twin. And we're here we gotta get rid of it, we gotta get it out, okay? And you're just tired of doing this, repeating this mistake week in, week out. You're tired of feeling weak and helpless by pressing buttons and taking trades you know you shouldn't be taking. You know that there is a sniper somewhere, there is a warrior somewhere within you. There's a calm, controlled, cold version of you somewhere within you, but you can't seem to activate it, okay? And so what I'm here to do is to help you activate that version of you, that best version of you, to bring it out so that you can actually finally start winning and being consistent in your trading. So let me explain to you the trap, okay? Because you've been trying to overcome this voice in your head with your willpower, okay? You're basically swimming upstream against the stream, and it might work for a day or two. You might be able to willpower yourself into some winning days and some small incy-wincy bit of discipline, okay? And then suddenly you collapse and you repeat the same patterns and you go back to your old self because the voice in your head is so loud, you can't resist temptation, okay? And then this happens all the time. You tell yourself, next week, it's going to be different, it's going to be better, never again, or you blew your account and you buy a new funded account, you say, this time it's going to be different, okay? This time it's going to be better, not going to be like last time, and then the same mistakes repeat, okay? And you don't understand why, but this is why, okay? This is the thing that you need. It's not strategy, okay? Strategy is like 1% of the entire equation at this point, okay? It really is to do with you, okay? You have to fix yourself. You see, willpower is a conscious tool, okay? Willpower is something that you do consciously, okay? But the voice in your head that is controlling all of your decisions, that is your subconscious talking, okay? That's the subconscious being in control. And your subconscious is much, much more powerful than your conscious brain, okay? So you have to deprogram, dysregulate, and reprogram your subconscious programming and upgrade it to this new version where it has no voice that is counterproductive, that is destructive, okay? You have to kill that destructive twin, okay? You have to reprogram the subconscious programming within you to have this new trading identity. That's really what you have to do. You've tried everything. You have tried all the strategies. You've tried EAs, robot tradings, AI trading, new strategies. You tried all the ICT strategies. You tried supply and demand. You've tried mean reversions. You've tried the orb. You've tried everything and still the same mistake repeats. So it's not strategy. It's not any of that. It's you, because you keep repeating the same mistake, okay? And it's that voice in your head. It doesn't matter what strategy you use. Actually, all strategies work. Funnily enough, all of the strategies pretty much work, but it's the person that is not able to make the strategy work. And then because you don't understand that, you think it's the strategy. So your ego is not going to blame yourself. It's going to blame the strategy. So then you start this strategy hopping, and then you're stuck in this loop of changing strategies every week. Every time something doesn't work, you think it's the strategy. I'm telling you, it's not. It's the voice in your head. You see, you cannot out-discipline a dysregulated nervous system. Okay? Your nervous system is programmed for your survival. It's programmed to react in a certain way. It's like touching a stove and you take your hand off. Okay? It's just a natural reaction that you react automatically without thinking. That's what a nervous system is. Okay? And unfortunately, your nervous system is wired against you when it comes to trading. Does that make sense? So no willpower is going to work. No affirmations is going to work. No discipline is going to work. No amount of cold showers, gym sessions, or eating clean, none of that is going to work when it comes to overriding your subconscious programming, your nervous system. Okay? This is the work that you have to do. You have to fix this. You see, the goal is not to get rid of the voice. The goal is to develop yourself and become the version of yourself that is in control of the voice, that is in alignment with the right voice, with the right conversations. Does that make sense? So you have to reprogram and become this new person. You have to transform into this new self and have this new internal dialogue that is basically automatic, and it's telling you good things. Okay, good things like, okay, we're done for the day. Okay, oh, we've hit our target. That's enough. Okay, good. Oh, we took a loss. Meh, no problem. You see, that is a good dialogue. That's the good internal dialogue that you need to develop as a trader. Okay, you cannot willpower your way into it. Okay, it takes time. You have to develop it. You're basically fighting decades of negative programming. Does that make sense? So if you got decades of negative programming, it's going to take a lot of work to clear all of that out and then reprogram. You see, you have to, first of all, be able to recognize the voice as a voice that's in your head that is not your voice. Okay? You have to be able to distinguish this and say, hey, wait a minute, that's not me talking, that's something else. Okay? That's greed talking, or that's my ego screaming at me, or whatever it is. Okay? That's FOMO speaking over there. Okay, hello, Mr. FOMO. You see, you have to be able to distinguish, first of all, okay? And then once you can distinguish it, then you can separate it from your real voice, from the real you. So once you can separate it, then you can create this new space within you and choose not to obey it, okay? That's how you do it. You have to recognize it, be aware of it, and then separate it, and then choose deliberately to not obey it. And then secondly, when you start to trade, when you come to the charts, you got to reverse your role. Okay, most traders come to the charts, they look at the charts, and then they take a trade, and then they realize their emotions afterwards. Okay, so you have to flip that script. Okay. And when you come to the charts, you go emotions first, and then you take the trade. So you come to the charts, and then you before you take a trade, you say, how am I feeling? What kind of state am I in? What kind of awareness do I have of my internal state? You see, that's flipping the script. That simple technique will save you. So you have to be able to distinguish that and have the awareness to actually implement that and do that and stick to it. Basically, you regulate your internal state before you even take a trade. Does that make sense? Because everybody else, what they're doing is they're taking a trade because they don't know what they're doing, or they think they know what they're doing, and then they realize they made a mistake, and then they're regretting it, and then anxiety builds, and then they're panicking, and then the mistakes all stack up from there, and it's downhill. Okay, so you have to flip that switch, okay, and flip it around and come to the charts and go emotions first, and then think about taking the trade after. Once you can regulate your internal mindset, your state, then you have a calm body. And then when you have a calm body, you have a calm mind. And when you have a calm mind, you get clarity. Okay, and that's how you become consistent. Okay, you have to consistently do this every time, every day, okay, without fail. You can't ignore this. You have to train yourself when you're bored, because when you're bored, that voice in your head gets really loud. It's like, give me something to do, tell me what to do, let's take this trade now, I want to feel productive, so let's take a trade. You see, you have to call that out and have tolerance with boredom. You have to learn to be bored and be okay being bored, because trading is boring, okay? That's how you stay patient. Just because nothing's moving or the market is slow, it does not mean you're wasting time. It does not mean you're being unproductive. In actual fact, waiting, being patient, and being bored is part of your strategy, is part of your edge, okay? It is an edge, okay? The professional trader knows how to control patience, knows how to be bored, okay? Go find something else to do, okay? And come back when the time is right, okay? That's how you're going to overcome this. You see, the sniper or the pro can sit in stillness, in complete silence, and just wait. They can wait for days, or they can wait for weeks for the right setup, okay? That's how you have to do this. You have to become this version of yourself that is able to sit still and just wait. But you see, the emotional trader is scared of stillness. They don't like being still, okay? They don't like waiting. It's uncomfortable, it's emotional, it's discomfort, and they feel like they have to respond by reacting and by doing something, okay? And usually, if they're making decisions from that state of mind, they're not making the best decisions, okay? They're making emotional decisions, and that's emotional trading. Every time you can sit in discomfort and do nothing and be uncomfortable and not react and be completely still, that's when you win. That's when you can overcome the voice. Okay, so you have to learn to be still. But here's the final kicker. You have to actually rewrite the internal program that is creating that voice. Okay, it's okay, one thing to know about it and to try to be still and all that. Okay, but it's very difficult to do when the internal voice is working against you. It's counterintuitive, so you're not in alignment, okay? You can't operate that way, okay? So you have to reprogram the internal state, the internal programming, the internal voice, so that it says good things, so it suggests good things to you, okay? So that when you're bored in front of the charts, it says, oh, well, let's go get a sandwich, or let's go for a walk, let's go do this, like those are automatic suggestions, okay, that as a professional trader, you gotta train yourself to create this automatically, okay? Then it's not difficult. Then it's like you're not gonna be swimming against the stream. You're gonna be in flow, okay? That is what we call flow state trading, okay, where everything is in alignment. You see, when you can align and control your internal state, your internal world, okay, the inner state within you, that's when you silence that voice. That's when that voice loses power, okay? And so it's really important that you understand what I'm trying to say here, because there's no other way to fix this, okay? I could give you a 100% win rate strategy, and that voice will still override it and cause you to mess it up, okay? It'll make you take a trade too early, so you mess up the entry, or it'll make you overtrade or get greedy or something. Does that make sense? It really isn't strategy. It's all to do with your internal state, okay? The inner voice, okay? And once you can control that, that is when you become consistent. That's where you have your breakthrough. That's where you start winning, okay? And this is, it's a skill that you gotta do this. You have to work on this day in and day out until you have this new version, okay? Otherwise, nothing's going to work. I'm sorry to say, it's going to be very difficult. So if that resonated with you, then we have a course for you, the Inner Edge Pro. It's the first link in the description. Actually, right now we're running a Black Friday sale, okay? So you can check that out if you want. But basically, within the course, we go in and reprogram your internal dialogue, your internal identity, your subconscious programming. We get rid of the fear, the greed, the FOMO, the oversizing, the boredom, and basically rebuild you from the inside out so that you can become a consistent sniper. So you can become this trader that you want to be. I'm not going to be teaching you strategy. I'm going to teach you how to control yourself from the inside out, because everything is internal, okay? And so that's what we do. It's the first link in the description, the Inner Edge Pro. If you're new to the channel, then welcome. Go ahead, like and subscribe. Drop your comments below. Let me know if this video resonates with you and where you're at with your trading journey. And until the next video, you're on your own. Take care now. Goodbye.